What is up, guys? Fun deck for you today. Today's deck is Reavers, and we're going to just go ahead and hop right into it. So, probably the better version of this is the Golden Necker Siri Nova one that Shinmiri's been playing, but this is kind of the patch day stuff I was playing, so we're running Garrison, Mushy Truffle, New Bohold, obviously wanted to try that out, Neuromancy, just making use of some of those higher end cards, and this version does have some benefits for that. But just the pure engine overload is probably worth looking at the Golden Necker one. And one thing that I do really run in here, and I think is very critical for this deck, is Scorch. And so being not Scorch, my bad, Curse Corruption. Being 9p, you could run that in the Golden Necker one, but with Golden Necker, it could lead to some awkward stuff pulling that out before you're ready. And it slots in a little bit nicer here because you have a little bit more control over when you want to play it. And the reason why it's so good is because they just get that one unit that's going to be tanking everything, and especially since a lot of people are attacking old geared. Counter this, that's Curse of Corruption just completely deletes it, and then you can just board wipe after that. It's just really crazy. Like, you just knock out that big unit, and then basically anything they play, you're dealing out like 8 damage, and it just won't survive. So it's a tech that I have in this one, and I would consider putting it into a lot of Reaver decks. It just feels really strong. And again, because they can just have so many points onto one unit, can kind of just negate a lot that you're doing because they get all their other engines off. Just deleting that unit allows you to start slamming into all their other stuff. Alright, anyways, into this game. Yeah, our opponent here is he's going hard into this round one. We're looking like we might lose on even here. As we get hit with 13 provision card, or is she 12? I actually forget in the moment. I think she's 13, and then Frejene.
What is that one again?
But yeah, not looking too good. We're probably gonna jam out the Garrison or Mushy Truffle to go and get some carryover. We're going with Garrison here. I guess Mushy Truffle would be better to get that carryover into round 3. But we'll try and hang on. And if you'll notice another thing too here, the stratagem I'm running, going back to the Northern Realms one, just because I don't feel there's a whole lot of locks right now, and so having that shield to protect just straight up against damage is really strong. Really stops something like Skellige from deleting that first Reaver's Hunter. Another thing with the Reaver's Hunters here is enjoy it while you can, because it's very likely getting nerfed pretty heavy. But then again, CDPR has been known to just leave broken stuff around for a long time, such as like Ball. That took a very long time to get nerfed to levels, and it's crazy now. Ball is just kind of bad almost, but man, double playing Ball was just around way too long. Get the Envoy out here. Definitely want Curse of Corruption up towards the top. Probably just going to go ahead and pass here, passing at 5, so then we get an extra chance to try and stay ahead. When he goes into the round 2 bleed. But definitely go and play Envoy here, since we know we're losing on even. Just go and play it out. Get some thinning. See that their premiums have kind of gone up in quality again, because the last batch were pretty rough. These newer ones, especially like, sorry if I'm butchering, is it Guillaume? The NG one, I think it's an older premium, but still, that one, that's what you want in a premium. The simple animations of Sir Scratchalot are still really sad, because man, I thought that one was going to be so cool. So another thing in the comment on this, yeah, we're definitely getting out of here. There's no way to keep playing into that. That's an easy pass. Our opponent was on red coin, and so it, obviously very advantageous to win on even. But if you kind of see the commit difference, it really was swinging way more one way, and so by saving, more of my power, more of my golds and stuff, not only helped me survive the bleed, but when we actually get to round 3, like, I actually have some gas in the tank, whereas my opponent might not. But it all depends on what they decide to do with the bleed. Sometimes they shell out that stuff to win round 1, and then they just go into a long round 3, so Another huge thing in this deck compared to the Golden Necker one is the since you don't really fit a whole lot of 4Ps into that one, yeah, he just that. Yeah, that's questionable. We're playing carryover here, but being able to fit more 4Ps in, like Siege Ladder, is just really handy in this deck. So you can eventually pull Eideran off the row, or like Bohol if you use his Zeal on the formation. Just get him off the row to keep your Reavers growing. It's really nice to run in this, and you shouldn't have too hard a time hitting the crew pocket. And the last thing that's really strong with this is Dwyn Viander's such a cracked card for 5 provisions. Between Garrison and Mushy Truffle, definitely running 2 of them, just so many points. I mean, if you're hitting Garrison and you have a full row of Reavers, what is that, 13 points on a 5 provision card? That's just crazy. Okay, nice, we hit the Eideran. Purify is pretty decent here. You know, if he gets a whole lot of vitality on a unit, we can just get rid of it. Like, for example, off of whatever that 9B Echo card is. Forget. Something you could drop here, again, if you're really wanting to go for running into Reavers a lot, you could definitely drop Kennen and Gar here. It's kind of a win more card, so you could definitely drop them and put in like an Olgierd, protects against Frost and Reavers. So you can see exactly the power of Curse of Corruption here. And I'm not going to spread out my units yet because I want to get the Eideran down before I do that. But when that happens, I will have 5 damage dealing out, so like whatever he plays, I've got 5 damage going into it, so he honestly has a very good chance of just deleting most of his stuff. Treant spawns can get in the way, but absolutely disgusting. And as with most things in a lot of these decks, you know, it's not the Reavers that are the actual issues, it's just how many Northern Realms can easily spawn out. And just, as always, Eideran is still a busted card in my opinion. Needs to be 9 provisions, probably 5 power too, so he's easier to answer. It is so easy to get, like, when you play him down, deploy value between Megascopes, just Reavers spawning on their own, the Fruits of Isgith leader. Just get immediate crazy value from him, and his ceiling is so stupidly high, and his floor isn't that bad. But man, he's gone untouched for a long time. I don't understand it. Do not understand it. But as someone who really enjoys NR, it was kind of the first faction I got into. It's kind of nice to see the faction go back on top, you know, because we're usually towards the bottom. But the annoying thing with NR is, like, when NR is on top, it's kind of annoying, if that makes sense. I'm able to play that back row because we are getting 2 spawns off of it, so he's going to boost up to 8. Very unlikely that he'll be able to deal with it. And clicking Mushy Truffle is probably a good idea here. Since we're kind of running low on how much we can spawn out, we'll go ahead and keep ones protected. But yeah, we're just deleting everything he's playing now. Yep, there it is. Honestly, you play this deck, you're going to get a lot of forfeits because you just shut down everything to play. It's pretty disgusting. Well, GG. Let's move to the next one. Okay, yeah, when we see this leader, we're a little bit scared. Just a little bit. Now, we're really scared here because this would be one of the decks that could have enough control to completely shut us down. And whereas we're very rarely putting 2 engines down in one single turn, we have leader and I guess Boholt does it. With that leader, they can definitely shut off both in a single turn.
What is it?
So, a little bit scared when we're going into this one. My round 1s that I kind of like to push with it is either Adalia or Eideran. Either or I try to really use to secure round 1, and then the other one with Boholt and going all in for
I can do a great deal more for you.
the round we're committing to in like leader. Like if I win round 1, I'm basically just going for the 2-0. We're putting Reaver out, hitting mobilization, going for it. Or like a daily into Reaver, mobilization, just going in for it. If I'm getting bled, I'm really going to try and save the mobilization leader. Just think it'd be the best chance for this deck in a short round.
What's it gonna take? You can kiss my tail goodbye.
Let's hope it hits the siege ladder here. Unfortunate. So, something we can do here is Curse Corruption if we wanted. We can also just kind of accept that, hey, he's throwing a lot into this round, we'll just let him take it.
Trouble approaches.
We'll survive the bleed and go from there.
Let's try it this way.
Yeah, he's committing a lot into this. Fine by us. We probably want to go and pass here yet because the point difference. If we play one more card, he could pass and we'd have a really hard time making up those points. I mean, I imagine we could go down a card and win the long round 3, but again, we don't quite know what this deck is. It could have an insane amount of control, and that's pretty risky, so we're just going to take the pass, keep our card, survive into round 3. Dwin Andrews could be huge here if we get a Garrison or a Mushy Truffle. Perfect. See, this is a matchup like where if we were on blue coin, like the I think it's just called engineering solution, but the NR stratagem, super helpful. So when I say that, it kind of seems like it's a Lippy, Shoop, Redea deck. That's what it's looking like. Squirrel Tech is always so nice. Bye bye, Sove.
Sacrifices must be made.
Man, just shout out to Squirrel Impeller for being like the Giga Chat 4P cards. Such nice tech options. Just like, you start a deck and if you're not going Devotion, you just like, alright, we're doing Oniromancy, Heatwave, Squirrel, Impeller. You can always rely on all of those. Oniromancy tends to be a 13p brick at the bottom of your deck, but, you know, it's a risk we're willing to take. Nice, he missed. Oh! Is he used last leader? Yep. That was beautiful. That was beautiful. So he's looking like he's not like a full-on control, just running that leader. This is just a fairly decent leader overall. So now that he's expended all of it, we can probably safely go into getting our engines set up without getting removed. I'm going ahead and pop the mobilization here because of the point difference, and I need to get points rolling so he doesn't tempo past me.
We shall do it my way.
Yeah, that's a lot of tempo. This is really scary. Yeah, we probably want to Nero Idoran here. See what I did. Oh, I went Boholt. That's not bad.
This one should land us a fortune.
I still think Idoran might have been better in that case, but he is a little bit more immediate points. Gets us caught up pretty quick, so it can go both ways. Plus, at least in this line of thought, I can Oniromancy out Mushy Truffle, so past self did pretty good, I think. Here we go, man. That's rough. Alright, we can probably play the Reaver and the spawn off of our Scout here, and then the turn after we'll start doing Garrisons and Dwin Andrews. I think would be the sequencing I would imagine to do. We're getting so many points per turn. I mean, that's, yeah. Yeah, it's 8 points a turn. So I just pop Garrison and hit a Dwin Viander down. Could also play Mushy Trouble for carryover. Actually, we're getting more because we have spawns. Perfect. Get the carryover. Yeah, we got 2 locations of carryover. Did the math, we were very set. It's probably a smart time for my opponent to get out too. We're about to start shelling out too much. But I mean, those traits were pretty good. I mean, I was not too unhappy with that. Yeah, putting back Curse Corruption is probably the best there. He might not be going tall again since Sov has disappeared. But with Sov eliminated and Fukusha played, like, I'm not as scared going into round 3 here. See what's in here. Yeah, play the Reaver Scout, then play Kennet, Gar, probably back row, spawn it, go and get him building up. Idaran, actually.
What do you need?
Yeah, Idaran's better. Since, if that's our last Reaver thing too, we'd probably go and slap Garrison on it or Mushy Truffle for protection.
If I go down,
Nice, Dreef is right.
Right.
Yes, nothing quite like it.
I guess we get another 2 spawns, so it can be worth holding off there. Ooh. Yeah, I'd probably say that's a misplay. I probably should have just went ahead and used it. I think I was greeding the points too much. Dwin Vianders are gonna save us here though. Past self me is really confused right now.
My home is wherever the road takes me.
Nice.
we'll turn the sea red! Red!
Well, no more engine value. This is where things get scary, but again, I'm not too scared because the 2 locations plus Twin Viandra, we still have a lot of points. Garrison's kind of bad now, so if you'd really seen using Garrison earlier, would have probably been a guaranteed win. And I should definitely play this back row. Play that back row, play Kennet, guard back row, and then finish with Doom Viandra. Should be the line here.
What? This? Scratch!
Got enough money? You need more than one.
Protect the Doom Viandra. And I guess if we're trying to play around like a Yurden or something, probably spread the boost, that would be best. But he's trying to protect the Dwin Viander so he can't delete it and then make that first pull off of Mush, or technically second pull off Mushy Truffle bad. And he just gives up. So yeah, there you go. Reavers, enjoy them while you can. They'll be gone soon, I'm telling you. But maybe not. See you guys in the next one.